two things that both of the guys said earlier. It's their defense, which is, I believe you said 17th, and also their bench. And with being a contending team, you have to be top 10 in multiple categories. Being 17th, that's a glaring issue for me. That's something they're going to have to continue to figure out throughout the season.
That is a weakness. Defense, I don't think they're ever going to be a lockdown clamp defense with those two guards, the way they play, the way they score the basketball, the way they need them fully energized on the offensive end. I don't know if they'll ever be a top defensive team.
Run It Back talks about the Lakers being one of the best teams in the Western Conference. Check out what they had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
As far as the best team in the West other than Oklahoma City, are you putting them there?
I still think they're a notch right below Houston and right below Denver. And look, they're a top 2 efficiency from the field team in the NBA, which is super impressive with such a heavy ISO backcourt with what Austin Reeves is doing and with what Luka Doncic is doing. It's super impressive that the way they play, they are still doing scoring in such an efficient way. So kudos to them. JJ Redick has done a great job kind of giving them each the rock and spacing and different sets to kind of allow them to do what they do best. And the other guys, it's hard to talk about the Lakers and how, MVP year from Luka, all-star season from Austin Reeves, but you got to talk about DeAndre Ayton. He looks like he's found a home here and he's comfortable. The surprise of Jake LaRavia. Rui Hachimura, we don't even talk about him as a 4th, 5th option. He's averaging 15 points a game, shooting 55% from the field. So this is a well-balanced team, kind of a middle-of-the-pack team defensively. They're 17th, I think, in defensive rating. But their offense and the dynamic backcourt is so elite. They're really, really good at getting to the free throw line. And
yeah, the Lakers playing great right now. This is probably the best roster they had in a while. Not only additions, but previously, whoever was on that team, they gotten better. Rui's real efficient. LeBron, he's going to do what he do. Luka, of course, he's a GOAT. Same with Austin Reeves. They're playing great, firing off all cylinders. Parts they added on the team are great as well, but they're just playing as a cohesive unit right now. So I like what I'm seeing with the Lakers. Offensively, they're elite. Defensively, that's where the question marks become. Yeah, they can be a top 2 or top 3 team in the Western Conference. I think the Nuggets are ahead of them. OKC, Denver, and LA in that order. Rockets could be, but it really depends on what's going to happen with the point guard position. Is Fred VanVleet going to be able to return during the playoffs, or is he completely ruled out? But KD, he should help the Rockets out a lot, but I just think not having that point guard, it's going to hurt him eventually. But all in all, Lakers, they're 3rd right now in the Western Conference, not just by record, but as far as Denver being better than them, and of course OKC being the best team in the West and in the NBA.
Making you defend without fouling, they slow the game down, they get downhill, and those two guards, it's hard to find another better scoring backcourt in the NBA than Luka and Austin Reeves right now.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, I agree with you, Chandler. I think they're still right there in the mix with the Denvers of the world, with the Houstons of the world. The only separation I would see from them and Denver and being a solidified second-place team in the West, they just got to figure out what they're going to do with the bench, right? Like LaRavia he's emerged as a guy that they can play, but their last game, he's scoreless, right? And so you got to find that consistency coming off the bench, especially in the postseason, especially late in the season. When when your team is so top heavy, you got to be able to go to the bench and withstand 6 to 7 minutes with your star players being off the bench.
And that's what I was saying. LeBron should come off the bench. A lot of people saying, why are you hating? You keep hating on LeBron, but he shouldn't come off the bench. He's the king. He's the GOAT. Now I'm saying that just to add some more firepower to that second unit. He can man that second unit. All of a sudden, the Lakers, they're on a different level right now. You can't plan for that. Having LeBron off the bench, having Austin and Luka start with Ayton and those other players, that's just going to open up the Lakers to do much more in their first and second unit. But either way, they got to be efficient. I doubt LeBron is going to come off the bench, but either way, they have the parts on that team. They just got to be more efficient. LeBron, he can still man the second unit, even if he's not in the starting lineup, but still, they just got to be able to rotate Luka, Austin Reeves, and LeBron James, just so that second unit has enough firepower. I know you want to keep them in the lineup as much as possible, but they're just going to have to rotate. Hopefully they don't fall off, because defensively that's going to be an issue, but that second unit can't go out there and not produce. That's going to hurt them a lot.
Who's going to be that guy for the Lakers? Looks like it's going to be LaRavia, but they got to get more out of him, and he got to be consistent. Then when I look over to Denver, I see Valanciunas, who's a guy that can hold it down. I see a Bruce Brown that knows his job and knows his position. Tim Hardaway Jr. can shoot the hell out of the basketball and can go off and in bunches and score the basketball. That's the separation that I see from Denver and the Lakers as far as any teams that can compete with OKC in the West. But I like what the Lakers are doing. I like how Luka's playing. I obviously think Austin Reeves is going to be an all-star this year. LeBron as a facilitator makes them dangerous. He's not pressing at all on the offensive end. He's picking his spots to be aggressive and to go downhill and put pressure on the rim. So I like the Lakers a lot. I think they're still going to stay in that top 3 to 4 spot, but I don't know if that bench is going to give them what they need to withstand to be in the second place the year.
Yeah, and that's the thing with LeBron James. As long as he doesn't do the most, tries the stat pad, allows Luka to be Luka, don't step on Austin Reeves' heels, you got to allow Austin Reeves to grow. Yeah, technically he's an all-star, but if LeBron James really wants to make a point, tries to score 25 and 30 points so he can match Luka, that's going to mess up Austin Reeves. So shout out to LeBron. His little ego isn't getting in the way, but is that going to hold up throughout the season? It's easy to do that when you play against Utah, the Clippers, and the Mavs, but are you going to be able to hold your little ego aside when you go against the Rockets, the Suns, the Nuggets, those upper echelon teams in the West? That's where LeBron is really going to be tested and try to put that ego aside.
I agree with both guys. I think this Lakers team has, really surprised everybody early on in the season with how hot they have started. Obviously, that's credit to Luka and AR with the hot starts they've had to this season. I think, and I couldn't agree less with both guys. I think they're, a middle of the pack team. I think they've shown that they are in the hunt to, be a team to compete this season. But it's two glaring things, and it's two things that both of the guys said earlier. It's their defense, which is, I believe you said 17th, and also their bench. And with being a contending team, you have to be top 10 in multiple categories. Being 17th, that's a glaring issue for me. That's something they're going to have to continue to figure out throughout the season.
Yeah, being 17th in defense, yeah, that can get you through the regular season. You can still win, 48 to 52 games in the regular season, being the bottom half of defense. But in the playoffs, that's where they're going to get exposed. We seen it last year. Their offense was great. Their defense was whack. All of a sudden, they got spanked by the Timberwolves. So, yeah, again, they'll be able to maneuver. They'll win games because you're playing against lower seed teams during the regular season. But when the matchups are really there in the playoffs, that's where the Lakers really get exposed. So, hopefully, they can get closer to that top 10 in defense. They're capable of doing so, but I just don't think LeBron, he's really going to work that hard on defense because he wants to save his energy for the offensive end. And he's about to be 41 years old, so that's going to be his little excuse. I don't need to play defense. I'm the quote-unquote phony GOAT. So either way, that's going to hurt the Lakers, especially if LeBron James is going to be playing 30 to 40 minutes per night, especially in a playoff setting. So I don't know what they're going to do, but hopefully Marcus Smart can continue to step his game up. No injuries. Luka, keep up on defense. You lost all that weight, so your lateral quickness should be better, but that defense is going to wear out. He wants to score a lot. That's his main goal, but hopefully Austin and Luka and LeBron, they don't look too bad during the playoffs because they will lose in the first round.
And also the bench. Like Lou said, you look at all these other teams, you look at the firepower that they have coming off the bench, and you look at the Lakers and the main guy that's really sticking out is LaRavia. So I do think that's something that has to be addressed. But I think they're, they've shown us, they are a team that's trying to compete this season, but they do have some glaring holes that I do feel need to be fixed.
And I will say this, when we see them whole with LeBron in the lineup, the starting lineup's obviously going to be Reeves, Luka, LeBron, Rui, and DeAndre Ayton. So that does give a little bit more flexibility for guys like Gabe Vincent to kind of be that guy offensively, Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia. So when they're whole, they do obviously have a little bit more depth. We just haven't really seen that consistently in this first 20-game sample size. So that is a weakness. Defense, I don't think they're ever going to be a lockdown clamp defense with those two guards, the way they play, the way they score the basketball, the way they need them fully energized on the offensive end. I don't know if they'll ever be a top defensive team, but their offense can be so good. They can get to the free throw line so much that can almost outweigh the way the game's played now of having a weaker defense.
Yeah, again, the regular season, their offense, they can balance out the defense and they can kind of mask it. But again, they always get exposed in the playoffs. They get exposed versus the great teams, or depending on the matchup, the Lakers, they're going to be taken advantage of. So again, that 17th defense, try to get it to 11, 12. They're not going to be the best defensive team ever, especially this season, but still, at least try, show the effort. Gabe Vincent, he's going to help out. Marcus Smart's going to help out. But it's just too many liabilities with Luka, Austin, and LeBron. So as long as they can hold the fort down, don't get embarrassed out there, the Lakers, they should be able to compete. But I'm worried about that defense. And as far as the bench, that could be a question mark as well. Again, all things look great in the regular season when you're playing those sorry teams, but in the playoffs, it's all about matchups, and the Lakers will look bad if they don't get their act together.